touchdown out.
Let's be honest, they'll probably make the playoffs.
They'll probably make it.
I feel like this is the formula the Bills have to do in order to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs.
If he could find some rhythm with some of the other receivers in this offense, things would be spectacular.
Hello, welcome to Football X's and O's, our weekly tactics show giving you the inside analysis on the best NFL matchups every Monday. We'll take a deeper dive into the Bills' 28-21 statement win over the Chiefs in Week 9. I'm Ryan Soon, alongside me is NFL expert David Scott. David, how about the performance from the Bills?
Yeah, dominant. I feel like that's what you can call it. Just on the run game and in the pass game, the Bills looked incredible. I'm looking forward to talking about it.
All right, so what topics do you have for us?
All right, so we're going to talk about a top tight end. Dalton Kincaid is really establishing himself as a top guy in the league this year. He's got a great connection with Josh Allen. We're going to look specifically at one of his plays during Sunday's game. Talk about getting wild. Chiefs utilizing a wildcat formation in one of their touchdown plays. Really smart stuff by head coach Andy Reid. Talk about the QB competition. Just the stats between Josh Allen and Patrick Mahomes, who got the better of the game, their passing game, their running game, all that kind of stuff. They're talking about running mad. Just the Bills' running game was exceptional on Sunday. It was really the reason why they won that game. We're going to get further into it.
All right, let's get to the plays. The Bills on their very first drive of the game, 11th play, 3rd and 9 on the Chiefs' 23, and Allen finds Dalton Kincaid.
So as we were talking about, just a great connection between these two players. Kincaid, just a terrific young tight end in the league. And this play is seemingly drawn up just for him. So we've got a bit of a mesh concept here. And a mesh concept, what does that mean? That means you've just kind of got routes coming into each other, going all over the place in a localized area of the field. And what that's meant for is to just confuse the defense, confuse the coverage. So what we're looking at in this coverage is just straight man coverage the whole way. You've got, lined up here, corner to man, corner to man, corner to man, corner to man. And you got 5 on the line, but one of these 5 linemen is actually manned up against the running back. So they're just sending for standard rush, no blitz, just complete man coverage. Now what happens here is you got a flat route, you got a post route, you got a corner route. Kincaid is on the corner route. And with all these things coming together across the middle of the field right here, the defenders are getting a little confused. They don't quite know what's going on here. And Kincaid's man gets lost in this mesh concept. He gets put on the turf. He just completely falls down in the confusion. That leaves Kincaid open down the field, and the safeties are left scrambling to try and get him. They're not able to get to him. Allen finds him for the touchdown.
I just feel with the Bills, you know it from the get-go, rhythm. And I saw Allen and the rhythm with Kincaid. It was just seamless in this play.
Yeah, Kincaid and Allen have a very good connection. I think you could say that Kincaid is now their top receiving option in this offense. And Allen is always looking for him. I think this play was designed specifically for Kincaid, so he wasn't really looking at anyone else. There were some openings on that flat route and such, but he was looking at Kincaid the whole way. But even when the play is not designed for Dalton Kincaid, Allen's looking for him. He loves him. I mean, over 100 yards and a touchdown in this game for Kincaid. He loves this young tight end. He loves tight ends in general. Dawson Knox got a lot of play in this game. So you're right. It is great rhythm between these two. And if he could find some rhythm with some of the other receivers in this offense, things would be spectacular.
I mean, I don't blame Allen for not looking at Keon Coleman or other guys, Shakir. Shakir did have a good game, but I feel like with Kincaid, when he's not playing, he was hurt. Things didn't look too great. But once he's in that lineup, I just feel like Josh Allen just sees a reliable receiver. And James Cook is that number one guy, but right next to him is Dalton Kincaid, and I think that's why they can be a Super Bowl contender.
Yeah, Cook is obviously your top rushing option in this offense, but Kincaid's your top receiving option as well. And yeah, it's a 1-2 situation. When Allen's handing the ball off, it's going to Cook. When he's passing it, it's going to Kincaid, and that was reflected in the stat sheet. So yeah, I would love to see more of this, just plays drawn up for Kincaid, because he's a versatile player. He's a great young player, and it shows in this play and throughout the rest of the game that he's able to get open down the field, and when Allen finds him, it leads to good things.
All right, to the next play we go. Bills get that touchdown, 7-0. Chiefs are right near the goal lines, 1st and goal, and Mahomes is on the left side.
Yeah, so this is, I think, one of my favorite plays that we're going to look at all season on this show. This is wildcat. So what is wildcat? That is basically when you're putting someone under center that is not the quarterback. So in this situation, it's Rashee Rice who's lined up back behind the quarterback to take the snap. And Mahomes, yeah, he's out wide here, lined up as a wide receiver. Now, he has no involvement in this play. It's really all going on in the backfield here. So Mahomes, we've got him lined up as a blocker here. He just didn't move. Once the ball was snapped, he just stood there and watched the play go on. The real magic is back here. So you've got a fullback, Rashee Rice, and then 2 running backs, and it's all about deception here. So one running back is going out on a swing route to try and draw some eyes, And then this running back is coming as a blocking option. So he's following, Rice is following this running back as kind of a lead blocker, and he's going to follow them into the end zone. So you take the snap, Rice gets the ball, runs right for the end zone. He goes, peels off to the right, follows his blocker. The defense is a bit confused with Mahomes out there and the swing route to the left, and then the fullback and the running back and a tight end over here is all just getting the blocking done, and it's a clean line into the end zone. I mean, Rice didn't have to move at all. Like he waltzed right in. It was pretty easy, and that's just due to the confusion of this Wildcat formation that is just so much fun.
And for the Chiefs, I feel like throughout the game they had a tough time blocking for Mahomes, but in this play, I just feel like everyone knew their assignments, and this was just, Chiefs, in terms of offense, this is one of the best plays they can do.
Yeah, it was perfectly executed. They didn't miss a beat on this play, which is why it worked. Because if you muff just a little portion of this, it's not going to work out right. Everything worked out perfectly. Everyone knew their blocking assignment. Everyone knew where they were going. And yeah, if they had blocking like this the whole game, things probably would have gone better. It's a little funny that Rashee Rice got better blocking than Patrick Mahomes, but. Yeah, it's a ton of fun, and they need to utilize stuff like this more often. Andy Reid is an incredible head coach, but he's an incredible offensive mind. He draws up a lot of very cool, very deceptive, very exciting plays. In this game, you just didn't see a lot of that. You saw this here early in the game, which gives you some hope, and then they just get kind of stagnant and boring throughout the rest of the game, which is why they end up losing the football game. But this is the stuff that you want to see with an offense that has the playmakers that the Chiefs have, that you want to get guys moving around in weird situations to really confuse the defense. That's what happens here, and it works. You go back to playing just boring football, and you lose the game.
I just feel like with Rashee Rice, now that he's back, they use him a good amount, but I just feel like he's the type of guy where you need him to get the football. And I feel like in this play, running the football, they have to, like you said, utilize the run game with Rashee Rice as well because of those running backs that aren't exactly that great.
Yeah, no, the running game for the Chiefs is really bad. There's no other way to put it. They just have a bottom unit in the league. And using Rice as a running option is really interesting and is something that could work going forward. Certainly you don't want to have to stoop to the level of my wide receiver is now my running back one, but it works here, and this gives you an idea of, hey, we've got something that we can use going forward. At the same time, hopefully one of our running backs can be a running back and actually start performing like that. Who knows? There's ideas of maybe the Chiefs making a trade for a running back, but the fact of the matter is, Rice, you want to use him as much as you can in as many situations as you can because he's an incredible player. He's got a great rapport with Mahomes, even though Mahomes wasn't in on this play. But throughout the game, Rice is the most targeted guy in the Chiefs' offense. And you're going to design plays like this for him that just, it's cool. I like it a lot, and I want to see more of it.
All right, that's the last play because everything else is just like 1-yard runs here and there, Kareem Hunt as well. To the quarterbacks we go. Josh Allen just totally dominated this matchup compared to Mahomes. Mahomes struggled mightily. This was his worst performance in terms of completion percentage, and it really showed in this game.
Yeah, it was pretty ugly. No one seemed to be on the same page throughout this matchup. He really had no connection with Travis Kelce. He was getting the ball to Rashee Rice, but the leading receiver on the Chiefs had just 80 yards. So it was ugly. And yeah, the 15 completions on 34 attempts, that's not good. That's just, you never want to see that, just that kind of discrepancy. That's almost 20 incompletions compared to just 15 completions. So something was off with the Chiefs offense on Sunday, and you want to figure it out quick because now you're 5-4, you're out of the playoff picture. They're right out of it. They're the 8th seed, so they're just about there, but something's not right. Things aren't clicking, and Mahomes looked like an MVP candidate this season. He was really passing the ball well, running the ball well too, but in this game, going against a team that is a top playoff contender, they couldn't get anything going.
I feel like the Bills, their assignment was get to Mahomes, pressure him. 15 quarterback hits for the Bills defense. I feel like that was their assignment from the get-go, to put pressure on Mahomes, and things like this can happen.
Yeah, and also, Mahomes was terrible when he faced pressure. He only had about 60 yards when he was under pressure. He threw an interception when he was under pressure, and no touchdowns on the day passing for him. So the Bills, their scouting report was correct. Pressure was the name of the game, and they did it very well. They got 3 sacks on Mahomes as well. So really good stuff from them. Mahomes has got to figure out, maybe the ball's got to get out quicker. Maybe we've got to utilize the run game more, but as we just said, the run game's not that great. So who knows what it is, but Andy Reid's got to come up with something quick because this kind of performance is going to give teams a bit of a hint of how to beat the Chiefs in the future.
All right, on the flip side, Josh Allen, this was his best game in terms of completion percentage. He was just connecting with so many people. I think 10 different wide receivers, playmakers, caught a pass from Josh Allen. What did you see from Josh Allen? This had to be a near-perfect performance.
Yeah, I saw efficiency. So you see lots of incompletions from Mahomes. You see barely any from Allen. He was just very efficient with the ball. He was safe with it. He was getting it to guys just effortlessly, pretty much. Only 3 incompletions. Like, this is a really, really good game. And I think it just comes to his connections with guys like Kincaid, guys like Shakir or Coleman. This offense runs really well together. Everyone seems to know their part and is able to just pick up first downs when they're needed. And Allen, I think he's become more known for his legs in recent years. He's got a billion rushing touchdowns, but we know that he's got a cannon of an arm, and sometimes he's not the most accurate. But today, Sunday, he was nearly flawless. He was hitting everyone in stride. He was on the hands, no issues. It was a great game from him. And Josh Allen owns Patrick Mahomes in the regular season. We don't got to talk about his playoff performance.
Oh, that's a different story.
Against Mahomes, but he always shows up against the Chiefs in the regular season. If you see more of this as the rest of the season goes on, you're going to be talking about potential Super Bowl hopes for the Bills. They got to turn it up when they get to the playoffs, but for now, this offense looks really good.
And they did this without a top-flight wide receiver. Obviously, Shakir had 7 receptions, Kincaid 6 receptions. But imagine if they can get a wide receiver at the deadline. It's coming soon. Do you think the Bills can add at the deadline to get a wide receiver?
Yeah, that's something that I would want if I was a Bills fan or if I was in the Bills organization. They've got Kincaid as their top receiving option, and then they really don't have a wide receiver one. They've been looking for one ever since Diggs left. So they could certainly use a top receiver, and it's a matter of who's available. There's some questions of if any top wide receivers are going to get moved. So I would certainly start making some calls to see if we could get someone, because the deadline is tomorrow. So there's not much time left to get one, but a top wide receiver would really complete this offense, in my opinion.
My little prediction is Rashid Shaheed from the Saints. I think he could potentially be available for the Bills, maybe a 2nd or 3rd round pick. All right, to the last topic we go, and it's the run game. I mean, the Bills, that was their mission from the get-go, run the football. 52% of the time they ran it, and you just saw it from Cook, Allen, Johnson. They were just dominating on that type of side of the ball.
Yeah, running was just the name of the game for the Bills, and the Chiefs' run defense looked terrible, and that's not something you would expect from a front line that's as good as theirs, but the Bills ran all over them, and whether it was Josh Allen, James Cook, or Ty Johnson, no problems. James Cook ran the ball 27 times, 114 yards. He didn't find the end zone because Josh Allen was hogging the ball a little bit, but I mean, they had no reason. They could have probably not passed the ball all game and probably won this game. It's just they were so efficient with the ball, and the Bills are. Sometimes I question the Bills' offensive identity, because one game you look at them and they're running the ball over the place, and the next game Josh Allen is super good with the football. And in this game, it was both. Josh Allen passed the ball incredibly, and the running game was incredible. So it's just a very well-rounded offense. But when you're able to get 100 and almost 150 total rushing yards and 3 rushing touchdowns from your team, you're going to win the game most of the time when that happens.
I feel like this should be the formula for the Bills in the playoffs. You said it earlier, like they dominate in the regular season, but come postseason time, they just don't run the football when they should. I feel like this is the formula the Bills have to do in order to beat the Chiefs in the playoffs, and we saw it on Sunday.
Yeah, I think the league is kind of transitioning back towards being a running-focused league. We can debate that, but the fact is, running the ball works. And if you're able to control the tempo of the game, the pacing of the game, just really marching down the field slowly but surely, the running game is effective in that, and that's what worked against the Chiefs. The Bills held the ball for a long time in this game, and when they needed to get the ball, or when they needed first downs, when they needed to get into the end zone, they went to the rushing game, and it worked. They didn't need to try anything fancy with the passing game. Just put the ball on the ground, push it forward, get into the end zone, get your first downs. It was perfect, and I love that they're able to find this kind of identity on the field. It worked against the Chiefs. It can work against anyone.
And for Kansas City, I just feel like, okay, maybe that Rashee Rice touchdown, that was something that was a little out of the norm. But I feel like the Chiefs at the same time, they just look at the postseason. They don't care about the regular season. You guys can beat us all you want. Come postseason time, they just find a gear. And I feel like the Chiefs, if I were the Chiefs right now, I wouldn't really be too worried about this loss to the Bills.
Yeah, you don't have to be too worried about it, but at the same time, now you kind of got to worry about making the playoffs.
That too, yeah.
You're 5-4. You're never going to count out.
But let's be honest, they'll probably make the playoffs.
They'll probably make
yeah.
it, but at the same time, 5-4. That's the same record as the Carolina Panthers. So, you got to worry. At this point, they have to focus on just making the playoffs, and then once they're there, they always turn it up to a different level. The Bills, we know they're going to be there. They're 6-2. They're quite good. We'll see if they can pass the Patriots for the division, but the Bills will be a top playoff contender. It's just a matter of if they can actually find their stride in the playoffs for once.
All right, that's going to wrap things up here at Football X's and O's. You can catch us every Monday. We also have Ain't There a Bowl every Thursday. You can please like and subscribe and let us know in the comments if you think the Bills are for real and could beat the Chiefs in the playoffs this time.